Duesenberg are known for their wacky Art Deco guitars, rising to fame in 1995 with their Star Player model. There's no secret that they share a striking similarity with Gretsch guitars. In today's video, we're going to investigate whether Duesenberg are copycats or innovators of the electric guitar. So let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury drum machines here in Nottingham, England. My name is Ben Keightley, and today's video we're going to be talking about Duesenberg guitars. So it's no secret that Gretsch and Duesenberg guitars share a lot of similarities, and funnily enough, both companies have German origins, which may be why they look so similar. Obviously, Gretsch was founded in 1883, whereas Duesenberg was created in 1986 in Hanover, Germany. So you can see how Duesenberg could take influence from Gretsch guitar. The main model we're going to be talking about from the Duesenberg company today is the Star Player TV, which arguably is their most famous model and is responsible for their kind of come up as a guitar company. The aesthetics of this guitar, with the kind of glittery binding, the semi-hollow construction, the blank fretboard, the small inlays, and the very kind of Art Deco kind of retro vibe of this guitar is extremely similar to the Gretsch Penguin, Duojet, or even White Falcon. Both guitars feature Filtertron-esque pickups. Obviously Gretsch actually has Filtertrons, whereas Duesenberg have their own version of the pickup, and both guitar companies use unorthodox switching for their guitars. They're also known for using elaborate tailpieces. Important to note that Duesenberg make their own hardware, so they are definitely innovators in that space, and the radiator tremolo sounds incredible. So let's turn back time and go back to 1883 and talk about Gretsch guitars. It all began in 1883 when 27-year-old Friedrich Gretsch, a German immigrant, founded his shop in Brooklyn, New York and began to make banjos, drums and tambourines. The early inception of Gretsch was more of a musical retailer, and they obviously specialised in lots of instruments that were popular at the time. The main period of time that we want to talk about is the 50s, when Gretsch really came into the electric guitar market. In 1950s, command was passed to Fred Gretsch Jr. The Navy veteran led the company into a new age of prosperity in 1950s. Gretsch were the first company to use custom colour finishes on their guitars and use space-age gizmos to sell their guitars, which uniquely positioned them to succeed in the atomic age era. During the 50s, they even outsold Leo Fender's wonderful new creations, with a boost in sales also credited to high-profile artists such as endorsers like Chet Atkins, Eddie Cochran and Duane Eddy playing their guitars. Gretsch's success didn't finish there. In 1960s, the Beatles guitarist George Harrison played a succession of different Gretsch models all over the Beatles records. He was most famous for using a Duojet, as you can see on the screen now. Gretsch even released a signature model of the George Harrison Duojet. But for me, the image that comes to mind for the ultimate Gretsch guitar is John Frusciante's White Falcon. He's had several over the years, spanning from 59 to 55, but for me, I really like the Dynasonic pickup one that he's been playing recently with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Obviously, we all know that performance at Slane Castle when him and Flea played Californication, and it just sounded incredible on this specific guitar. Every guitar player has that song that makes them want to play guitar, and for me it was Californication. It was the first song that really inspired me to learn a guitar riff, and I think it was partly due to how great obviously the song is written, but also the visuals of the White Falcon and the way it sounded. I just really wanted to play guitar after listening to the song. So it's safe to say Gretsch definitely pioneered this look for a guitar. So let's look into Duesenberg's history and see where they started. Duesenberg was created in 1986 in Hanover, Germany, and were originally created as a brand for futuristic heavy metal guitars. But in 1995, Duesenberg were gaining attention for their famous Star Player model, which was a more vintage example semi-hollow construction with two Filtertron-esque pickups. The Star Player paved the way for Duesenberg with its original design and interesting wood choices. The humbucker in the bridge and the P90 in the neck allowed for extreme tonal versatility and meant that the Duesenberg could be played on any type of music. In 2004, the company opened a brand in Fullerton, California in order to keep up with the demands of the growing company. Famous users include the likes of Mike Campbell, Joe Walsh, Glenn Frey of the Eagles, Chris Cornell from Soundgarden, and even Johnny Depp. They have that vintage retro feel, but with a little bit of modernization thanks to the switches, the kind of quirky hardware options and finishes. In today's video, we've got an extensive range of Duesenberg guitars to show you. We actually have 4 in stock, so I'll make sure to play on each of them and explain about the Star Player series. We have 2 Gretsch guitars in, we have a Brian Setzer signature model, and we have a Duo Jet. So we'll make sure to use all of them today and have a brief talk about each guitar. So let's start with the Duesenberg Star Player. So they come in 2 versions. You have the Star Player TV Phonic, which I'm holding now, and this red one here is just the Star Player TV. And to my understanding, the main difference is just the pickup choice and some of like the inlays and cosmetics of the guitar. We're going to be talking about the Star Player TV today because we've already done a video on the Phonic version. So in terms of construction, we have a semi-hollow with a center blocks for a unique tonal response and improved feedback resistance. The pickups in Duesenberg guitars are very interesting as we have a P90 in the neck but a humbucker in the bridge. So we have the Grand Vintage humbucker and a Domino P90. This has a lot of flexibility tonally speaking, obviously because you have a P90 in the neck and a humbucker in the bridge. Both guitars feature their radiator vibrato system, which is obviously inspired by a Bigsby but improved in many ways. One of the big features that is the string-free design, so you don't have to hook the ball ends of the string onto pegs, which just makes it a lot easier to do string changes. And to my feel, it feels a lot more reassured than a Bigsby and a lot more high-end, so definitely a point to Duesenberg for innovation of the bridge. There's a longer scale length on these guitars, so you have a 25.5 inch scale length, which is similar to Fender guitars, which creates a bit more of a snappy response, and it's also plec processed. Every single guitar is plec. Before leaving the factory, each guitar is plec processed for an impeccable setup and comfortably low action without fret buzz. It's safe to say that Duesenberg is one of the best guitar companies out there at the moment for innovation and design. So let's hear these bad boys in action. So in the Gretsch camp, we have a Brian Setzer hot rod guitar. We also have a Duo Jet, but we have already featured this on the channel, so I'll leave a link to that video in the description below if you're interested in that guitar. But the Gretsch G612SH Brian Setzer guitar is a classic rock and roll machine ideal for 50s rockabilly and swing. It features 2 TV Jones Brian Setzer signature Filtertron pickups for that genuine vintage sound, and the iconic Stray Cat sound that we all come to love. Other appointments include a 2-tone finish of black charcoal, flamed maple body, Charlotte locking tuners, hot rod logo on the truss rod cover, and an increased body depth of 2.75 inches and no pickguard. This really is a hot rodded version of an old classic Gretsch, just ready to rock. So So what is the conclusion to this video? Are Duesenberg copycats or innovators? I think it's safe to say that they definitely have copied off Gretsch, but copy is a little bit of a strong word. Let's be honest, it's inspiration. As musicians or as guitar companies, everyone is inspired by something. Nothing is totally original. Although the Star Player has similarities to Gretsch, they are still very unique instruments in their own right and definitely shouldn't be underestimated. Duesenberg have definitely propelled German engineering into guitar building. The radiator tremolo is incredibly well functioning, staying in tune and feels very reassuring. They also have very quirky switches that almost look like a saucepan at times. There's a lot of unique innovation on Duesenberg guitars that you wouldn't find on a Gretsch. That being said, I personally prefer Gretsch guitars because of the retro vintage feel. As I mentioned previously, I absolutely love the Falcon and Penguin series. I'd love to own both of them guitars at some point in the future. And for me, I think it's just because I have that association with artists. Brian Setzer of the Stray Cats was a massive rockabilly influence on me. For me, the first song I learned on guitar was Californication, which obviously was played on a White Falcon, and I was inspired to learn that because of looking at the White Falcon that John Frusciante was playing in the music video. So Gretsch are definitely a massive inspiration, but I wouldn't say that Duesenberg copied them. I'd say that they're inspired by them and they're innovating guitars into the future. What do you think of Duesenberg guitars? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you own a Duesenberg or a Gretsch, let me know in the comment section below. Let's have a little conversation about guitars. As I said, I'd love to own a Gretsch Penguin or a Gretsch White Falcon in the future. I know the Stephen Stern Masterbuilts are very expensive, but I love the look of them. But thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. Make sure to leave a like if you've enjoyed today and subscribe so we can get bigger and better guitars on this YouTube channel. My name is Ben Keightley and I'll see you tomorrow for another video of Squealing Pig Guitars. But until then, keep rocking, guys. I'll see you soon.